Hi, terrific third graders. We get to work on math again today, and I hope you are so excited. So let's get started. Whoops, too far. Today we are going to compare and order numbers up to 100,000 and represent comparisons using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal to. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that by reviewing important vocabulary, representing numbers with place value discs, comparing numbers with the greater than, less than, or equal to symbols, ordering numbers, and then you're going to practice representing, comparing, and ordering numbers. Why is it important that we do this? Well, it's important to know how to compare and order numbers so you know which number is greater or less than another number. Here is the vocabulary we are going to look at today. We have three important terms that we're going to talk about. The first one is greater than. If something is greater than, it means that there is a larger amount when compared to another amount. So in this example, 8 and 4, 8 is greater than 4. For less than means that it is a smaller amount when compared to another amount. So in the same example with 4 and 8, I would say that 4 is less than 8. The other one you can have is equal. And whenever something is equal, it means that it has the same amount. So in this example, there is an equal amount of pears and an equal amount of apples. So today we are going to work on comparing and ordering numbers. Now you will notice that there are two numbers. I have placed them in a place value chart just to help keep it organized. You will also see on top of the place value chart that there are place value discs. Now remember, we used these last week, and they are a way for us to do a visual to help us see the value of a number. So the first two numbers we're going to compare are 2,413 and 2,431. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build those numbers with my place value discs. When I do, it will look like this. So for 2,413, you can see I have 2,000s, 1, 2, 3, 400s, 110, 1, 2, 3 ones. If I wanted to model 2,431, I would have 2,000s, 1, 2, 3, 400s, 1, 2, 3 10s, and 1 1. At the bottom down here, you can see that I have set up for our inequality statement. So I'm going to decide which number is greater and which number is less than the other number. So the way I'm going to compare these is I'm going to go place value by place value. So I'm going to start at my biggest place value. So for this example, it's the thousands. And if they are the same exact digit, I'm going to cross them off. So I'm going to cross them off with my place value discs. So this one has 2,000s, this one has 2,000s. So I'm going to cross them off. So then I'm going to move to my hundreds place. Well, I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 400s on this side and 1, 2, 3, 400s on this side. Well, again, those are the same numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and cross them off. Now I have my tens. That's my next biggest place. So this side has 110. This side has 1, 2, 3 tens. Which side is the greatest, 110 or 3 tens? That's right, 3 tens is greatest. So that means that this number, 2,431, is greater than 2,413. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to fill in my inequality statements. Now you'll notice that both of them are here, and that's because we can write it both ways. So the first one I'm going to look at is 2,413 compared to 2,431. Well, that's what these two numbers are. Here's the first one, here's the second one. But we just said that this number was greater. So that means that this number is less. That's correct. So I'm going to model that. 2,413 is less than 2,431. But I also could say it the other way. I could also say that 2,431 is greater than 2,413. So today I'm going to ask you to actually do that. I'm going to actually ask you to put the numbers in a place value chart, model them with place value discs, and then write the inequality statement both ways. That way we're able to read both of them. So let's look at another example. Here's our next example. It's just a little bit harder. This one goes into the 10,000s place, but that's okay. Again, you're going to have your place value chart, you have your place value discs, and we're going to model the numbers. So here's the numbers. The first one is 11,234. And we're going to compare that to 12,345. So the first thing we're going to do is build our numbers with our place value discs. Let me move my camera a little bit out of the way. Put it right here for now. When I do that, I'm able to see that I have 110,000 on each side, and then I can see the other place values as well with my place value discs. So again, if they are the same, I'm going to cross them out because I'm going to find the ones that are different, but I'm going to start at my biggest place value. For this case, that's going to be our 10,000s place. So I have 10,000 and 10,000, so I'm going to cross that out. Now, the next thing that I'm going to go to is my thousands. Well, my thousands are different. I have 1,000 on this side, but I have 2,000s on this side. So since they're different, that's where I'm going to stop with the crossing out. So let's look at that. Is 1,000 greater or is 2,000 greater? That's right, 2,000 is greater. So that means that this number, 12,345, is greater than 11,234. So I'm going to come down here to my inequalities, and I'm actually going to type that in. I'm going to put the correct symbols. But remember, I'm going to ask you to do it both ways. So the first one is going to look at 11,234. Is 11,234 greater than or less than 12,345? That's right, it's less than. So I'm going to say less than. And if that's the case, then that means that if I read it the other way, 12,345 would be greater than 11,234. So this is what it looks like with the inequality statements or symbols. You're able to see the symbols, and it actually shows us that 11,234 is less than 12,345. And that 12,345 is greater than 11,234. So that is how you compare numbers. You're looking at them to see what is different, and you're figuring out which one is either smaller or bigger. The other thing that we are going to do today is we are going to order numbers. So when we compare, it's just two numbers, but when we order, it's going to be more than two numbers, but we're doing the same exact thing. So here is going to be our first example. Here you'll see that I have three numbers, 3,124, 2,212, 4,212. And I'm going to order these numbers. Now there's two ways I can order it. I can order it from least to greatest, or smallest to biggest, or I can order it from greatest to least, which means biggest to smallest. Again, you'll notice that I have my place value discs at the top, and I'm going to model each one of these numbers with my place value discs. So when I do that, it's going to look like this. So you are able to see for this first one, I have 3,100, 2 tens, 4 ones. My next one, 2,000s, 200s, 110. Oops, I messed up. There should be 4 ones right here. And then my last one is 4,000s, 200s, 110, and 2 ones. Now, for this, I'm going to start with my thousands place. I have 3,000s, 2,000s, and 4,000s. If I come down here, the first thing I'm going to do is least to greatest. So I'm going to go smallest to biggest. So let's look at it, just the thousands place. Since they're all different, I can stop there. So which one is smallest? 3,000, 2,000, or 4,000? That's right, 2,000 is smaller. So the first number I'm going to write is 2,214. Then I'm going to write the next smallest number. So the next smallest number, is that going to be 3,000 or 4,000? That's right, 3,000 is next. So then I would write 3,124. And then finally, I would write 4,212. Then if I wanted to go greatest to least, I'm going to look for the biggest one. So I'm going to look at these again, and I'm going to look at the biggest one. For this one, I would start with my 4,000 because that's the greatest. Which one would come next, 3,000 or 2,000? That's right, 3,000 would come next, and then 2,000 would be last. So when I write them on my paper, this is what it would look like. So you're able to see 2,212 is less than 3,124, which is less than 4,212. And if I wanted to go greatest to least, I would say that 4,212 is greater than 3,124, which is greater than 2,212. Let's look at another example. Here I have three numbers again. I have the number 2,314, 2,315, 2,312. So the first thing that we're going to do is what? What are we going to do first? That's right. We're going to use our place value discs and we're going to make a picture or a model. So this is what it's going to look like. When I do that, the first thing I'm going to do is go to my thousands place and I'm going to look at that. So I have 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Well, here's my picture, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. And whenever I see that, I'm going to cross those off because they're all the same. Then I'm going to move to the next place. Well, my next place is my hundreds place. So I'm going to look. I have 100, 100, 100. There's 300 here. 1, 2, 300 here. 1, 2, 300 here. Excuse me. Since they're all the same, again, I'm going to cross them all out. Then I'm going to look at my next one. I have 110, 110, 110. Well, since I have 110 everywhere, that doesn't really help me. So I'm going to, again, cross those out. Now I'm going to look at my ones place. I have 4 ones, 5 ones, and 2 ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is least to greatest. So if I go least to greatest, which one is the smallest number? 4, 5, or 2? That's right, 2 is the smallest. So that means that 2,312 is less than my next number. So this is my smallest, so it's going to go first. Then I look, I have 4 and I have 5. Which one is smaller? That's right, 4 is smaller. So then it's going to say 2,314. And then my final number will be 2,315. If I wanted to do it in order from greatest to least, I would then write my numbers going from greatest to least. So the biggest number, again, all of these are the same. So I'm still only looking at my ones place. This one has 5 ones, 4 ones, 2 ones. Well, which one is the biggest? That's right, the 5 ones. So on the greatest to least, I would write 2,315 first. Then I'm going to write 2,314 is greater than, and then my final number, 2,312. So let's review what we talked about today. We talked about comparing and ordering whole numbers up to 100,000 and representing comparisons using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal to. We reviewed important vocabulary. We represented our numbers with our place value discs. We compared numbers using greater than, less than, or equal to symbols. We also ordered numbers, and now it's going to be your turn. You're going to practice representing, comparing, and ordering numbers. And why are we doing this? Because it's important for us to know how to compare and order numbers so we know which number is greater or less than another number. So now it's going to be your turn. You're going to order and compare different numbers. You're going to make sure to draw out each number with the place value discs, and you're going to write each statement at least 2 ways. So let's look at the example of what you are going to do. Here is the paper that you are going to get. On this paper, you are going to do exactly what we just did. You are going to write the numbers in the place value chart. You are going to then model each number with our place value discs. And then you are going to complete the statements at the bottom, either with the greater than or less than symbol. You are also going to have a couple of problems where you have to order. When you order, the first thing you're going to do also is you're going to write the numbers in the place value chart. You are then going to model each one with your place value discs. And then you're going to write the numbers in order from greatest to least, and finally in order from least to greatest. I know you're going to do a great job. Please remember that when you're drawing your place value discs, that you don't have to write the entire name, but you can just write the letter that represents each one. So if it's for 100,000, you're just going to put HTH, 10,000 TTH, 1,000 TH, 100 H, 10 T, 1, you're going to put the letter O. And you can see that I did that down here. That way I'm not having to spend all of my time writing out the words. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher.